Hi, and welcome back to Community Storytelling. I am so glad you're with us. I'm Lissa Chrysler, and you're watching KCAT TV 15. And this is such a special program. It is Season 7. Linda Lester, Lester Square, thank you so much. Our anonymous donor, thank you so much. Glenn Nagawaza, look at these photos he gave us to put on the set. We're all together. A good thing.
That's
and
great.
I have this fabulous woman sitting next to me, Ann Peterson, who is with Live Oak Adult Services. And Ann, I can't mention Live Oak Adult Services without mentioning our late departed, our very dear Colleen Hudgen.
Right.
She was something else.
She was bigger than life, sort of.
She really was.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah.
It was one of the first interviews I had done here at KCAT TV 15. I'm sure it must have been Season 1. And I fell in love with her.
Right.
And her excitement and her exuberance. And when I found out she had passed, I was just so deeply sad.
It was very sad.
And I think you took her place.
I did. It was kind of a, not even enough time to go through the interview process. It was just like from within.
Yes.
I stepped up to take the
And
job.
for 4 years you did that.
Right.
And I think you've stepped back because I think you're maybe walking down that ladder to get to retirement eventually.
Is it like 65 or something like
Not
that?
anymore.
Not anymore.
Hello, I'm past that.
Right. I am too. But yeah, I stepped down March 1st, which is just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we've hired somebody and trained her for a couple months.
You
and now
stepped
she's
down,
back
but
in.
you're still there.
Oh, I'm still there. I'm working on development at this point.
So Live Oak has always had such a special place in Los Gatos. You have done so much over the years for our seniors, and their caregivers.
Right.
It
right.
works both ways. Yet I'm not sure everybody really realizes you're here and
Correct.
where you are and
Correct.
what you do. We got to start at United Methodist Church.
Exactly. So a year ago, we had our 40th anniversary.
Unbelievable.
So we had been 40 years.
In Los Gatos?
And we started in Los Gatos at United Methodist Church.
Wow.
So that was the beginning of everything. When we started, it was packed. And the executive director before Colleen, Lita Friedlander, started it. And she had in her mind a vision of, she had just learned about adult daycare for folks who have dementia. And she thought this was great. And she got a lot of help from the community, Almaden Valley Women's Group, all these people that had helped her out to get started. And they started there in Los Gatos, and then they needed more space. And they had a place. They moved. The first one, I think, the second one that they opened was in Gilroy. So the one in Gilroy's been down there for 31 years.
Wow.
So we've been working at Wheeler Manor in Gilroy for 31 years. And then a couple other things happened. And then we ended up buying a historic property with the help of San Jose. And so we are our administrative offices, and we have a San Jose Center in Willow Glen at the Clark House, which is a historic property that was built by students of Frank Lloyd Wright. So it's a really beautiful property. We are so lucky to be there.
What street is it on?
It's on Minnesota.
I don't know if I've ever
Right
noticed
by-
it. And
yes,
I used to
between-
live in Willow Glen.
Yeah,
so
between
shame on me.
Meridian and Lincoln.
Okay.
Very close to Lincoln.
But I know Live Oak has services countywide.
Yes, and we have another center now in Cupertino.
But we are so blessed to have you in Los Gatos.
Sure.
You do so much.
So
Tell everybody what you do.
Okay, so Los Gatos is, so Los Gatos was our first center. So the idea for daycare is that we enroll folks who have mild to moderate dementia. It's getting tough for them with their caregivers at home, but they can come to our center. We're open 5 days a week.
United Methodist Church.
Yes.
9 to 3, I believe.
9 to 3, 5 days a week. Not everybody comes 5 days a week, but we have the schedule. And they spend that time with us doing lots of great activities. And at the same time, then their caregivers get a respite, a break, which they desperately
so need.
Yeah. So the activities that we do are, it's physical exercise every day, usually chair exercise, yoga kind of thing. We try to have as much music as possible because it's really valuable for folks who have cognitive impairment. We do cognitive stimulation activities, you know, those crosswords, those Sudokus.
Wordle.
No,
Connections.
they're not.
No.
I tried Wordle. What I like to do is I like to take all the games that I love, other people love, and adapt them for the folks. And for the most part, there's a lot of great, you know, a lot of people like to do that. There was a guy, he was a nuclear physicist.
Oh.
Okay. So he told me when he first came to us, he said, I'm a nuclear physicist, but for peaceful reasons only. It was so great. Yeah. Anyway, you know, this guy must be brilliant, right? And so he's losing some of his cognitive functioning, but his favorite thing to do was Sudoku. And so we would do a Sudoku for him, you know, and he loved it. That was a big thing for him because, you know, nobody else was doing that with him at home. For a lot of the folks, they don't get much stimulation at home, TV, that kind of thing. And with us, it's pretty much constant.
You
and
put
also,
them to work, yeah.
The other thing that's really important is the socialization. The fact that they can socialize with people and they love to come.
Well,
to
and
our
there's
centers.
the lunchtime too at Live Oak Nutrition.
Yeah. You know, so that's pretty interesting. So Live Oak Nutrition and Live Oak Senior Adult Services are actually kind of two different organizations, but I don't know exactly.
We share the name.
We share the name.
So that's
and
confusing.
So now we share a lot of things with them, so which is nice. So your Los Gatos seniors can get meals at the nutrition center.
Which is wonderful.
A lot of people who do that, and not all, and they don't necessarily have cognitive impairment.
Yes,
that's
we know
separate.
that it's open to anybody.
Right.
Yes.
So then, yeah, you've interviewed Kathy.
We sure have.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorites.
Right. And so the senior day center is different.
And
right?
I get it.
But we
But you're
figure
close
out-
to lunch. You go in and get a
figure
snack.
out the food. We figure
Now,
out the food.
I know during COVID, I mean, it was such a difficult time for everybody, but I know especially for you guys.
Right.
But I think you conquered it.
Well, I have to tell you that before COVID, when I stepped in as executive director, 3 of our centers were thriving and Los Gatos was not thriving before COVID. And we were hoping to shut it down. We were thinking that we were going to shut it down. We were getting maybe 3 families a day. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't enough to go on. And so we were contemplating that. COVID hits, everybody shut down. We jumped pretty quickly to trying to do remote programming. We did a remote 2-hour, you know, here's a Sudoku, here's, you know, things we can do online. Mm-hmm. That worked for some people, but not all, because a lot of folks with dementia can't do that. Anyway, so we did that for a while, and we kept in touch with our families, and then we slowly started to reopen our centers. Los Gatos was last because we weren't sure it was going to fly. Mm. And darned if your community didn't pull their act together. And they just were, there was several commissions, the town council, the mayor, they were all like, you have to reopen. And I'm like, why?
Yeah,
you know,
3 families, that isn't going to work.
It wasn't, look at the numbers, it didn't fly. And they were like, no, we're going to support you. We got lots more things going on for seniors. And they sure did. And so we decided, you're renting a facility. Thank God for Los Gatos United Methodist Church, which has been there with us since the beginning.
Yes.
So we're renting rooms from them. But, we're sitting there going, these are a little shabby. And so we decided, we had a little extra, got some nice grants, and we decided, you know what, even though we're renting, let's upgrade a little bit. Oh. And so we got some great construction guys, young guys that came in. They redid the flooring, we painted the walls, we put in new cabinets, upgraded. It looks really spiffy, right? And then we started opening, and we had all these people in Los Gatos, that were behind us, and it was pretty exciting. And so we had an open house, and Joe Samidian came, and it was nice. And now we're bursting at the seams again.
Oh my goodness.
So it's great. So we have at least 15 people a day.
That's great.
It's really wonderful.
And I'm thinking it's great for them, but again, those caretakers
Okay.
get 9 to 3 to maybe put their feet up on the couch and the table, or maybe go do shopping, or just have that such
We
needed
even have
break.
folks who go to work during that time.
That's amazing.
So I kind of feel like we do this almost more than 50% is for the caregivers.
I get it.
The caregivers have such a hard road. So they are at their wits' end. We are a nonprofit and we try to keep our costs low. So it's a little easier to afford us than taking somebody to assisted living or memory care.
Sure.
They may have to do that in the future.
Eventually.
But for the
Today,
time being,
yeah.
they can come to us. So with our clients, you know, it's all about having a joyful program. It's all fun, you know, and you try to just keep it light because, you know, they're not going to remember, but
Right.
you want them to come back. For the caregivers, we're very, you know, each of the program directors is supports them emotionally, you know, whenever they want to come in and talk, whatever. We now do 3 caregiver support groups a month.
That's
So one is
great.
in person and then 2 online. And then we can give them referrals, and we know with experience like which assisted living memory care units, you know, have good reports back, you know, things like that.
So I know Family 16 is now waiting to get in after hearing this, seeing
Sure,
this. How do they do this?
Very good. So what you would need to do is to call our office. You know, it's Live Oak in Willow Glen, in Los Gatos.
Live Oak, but it's listed as Live Oak Adult Services?
It's Live Oak Adult Day Services.
Okay.
Yeah.
Live Oak Adult Day Services.
Right. So it's an adult day program.
Phone them.
Right.
Google,
Phone them.
Google that number.
Yeah, definitely. We have a website. It's actually a little bit different. www.liveoakadultdaycare, which is probably easier.org, and you can find all the numbers there. So you'd call Lissa, is the current program director, and with any program and a senior, there's forms to fill out, and there's licensing. It's a licensed agency, so they need to see some information from the doctor. We need to know medications somebody's taking. But
Does Medicare cover this?
Medicare does not cover this. Okay. You can use your long-term care. I think you can use long-term
right.
care.
Something to
you
look
can
into.
use some of your own personal insurance, but we don't fill that out for
Sure.
you. We can give you reports on what's going on, but people have to do that on their own. So we do take VA. That comes through the VA. They'll
Okay.
make referrals to us. And then, so somebody would enroll. You'd come visit, make sure that it looks like something you want to do. We will always have what we call a visit day, which is one day when the person with cognitive impairment spends at least 4 hours there. We want to see that it's a good fit.
Sure.
And there's some things that prevent somebody from coming to our program. We're not a locked facility, so if somebody just likes to get up and wander, we can't manage
You're
that.
not police officers.
No, we're not. We aren't people who lift or take folks in the shower or anything like that. So people need to be able to bear weight and get into the bathroom on their own.
Well, I know there's a family 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 that might be getting in touch with you.
That would be lovely. We
And
can.
that's why you're
definitely-
there.
Yeah. We also, if one site doesn't have space, another site might. It's a little bit more of a trek, but
sure.
it's possible. The other thing that we do use a lot is the VTA access. So you can hook up with VTA and they'll bring you in the morning, and it's great for a caregiver.
It's a
like,
win-win.
Wow,
Yeah.
my person is out for 6 hours. You know, after COVID, the stories we heard were just heartbreaking. You know, one woman, her husband finally came back to Live Oak, and she's just like, I know it's the first time I've had a chance to like get new tires on my car, but I can't even manage that. All I want to do is sit, and that's all she could handle,
And that's okay.
it's great. Do
Yeah.
what you need to do,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
I mean, what a great place this is. And United Methodist Church.
Yeah.
What don't they do?
Right.
I mean, they are such a force in the community.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
That's right. It's
Ann
lovely.
Peterson, thank you so much. Live Oak Daycare Center in Los Gatos.
Right.
It's not that hard to become family number 16.
That's correct.
It really isn't. Community storytelling. Thank you, Ann, for being here.
Thank you.
What's your story? You can do a nomination so simply at kcat.org under community storytelling. And thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Lissa Chrysler, and we love having you at KCAT TV 15.